Hello. Going to give you guys another quick breakdown and prediction for some of the fights I'm going to find interesting on this weekend's UFC card. Prochazka versus Olberg in Miami. This is a much better card than what we had last week. Some good matchups. The whole card looks pretty stacked, entertaining fights. Got the one Gel fight on the card, so not too much to be left desired here. This is shaping up to be some good even matchups, some hard to pick fights, and some exciting ones, I reckon. Just get stuck into a couple of the ones I'm gonna enjoy I reckon on the night. The first fight I like the look of is Kelvin Gastelum versus the silent assassin Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque is getting a bit older. Still got a lot to show, I think, but definitely past his prime now at this stage in his career. Could make a bit of a resurgence here, being a fight at middleweight. I don't think he's ever fought at middleweight before, so I'm interested to see how he goes. Definitely not cut into welterweight. I don't think he was a massive welterweight, but I think as he gets older, not having to cut as much weight, not putting yourself through the massive weight cut, I think it's gonna pay dividends. So hopefully we see a little bit of a vintage performance from Vicente Luque in this fight. One of his classic Mike Perry style knockouts would be great. He's always put on entertaining fights. I've always liked watching him, go hard against the fence and swinging for knockouts, and a few submissions on his career. He's always been very entertaining, pretty good, well-rounded sort of guy. Kelvin Gastelum, he's always been pretty much a mainstay at middleweight. I think he sort of dropped off a little bit after the Ultimate Fighter series with Rob Whittaker. I think that was probably the last time we see the fight with Adesanya. Those were sort of the real prime performances I think we're going to get out of Gastelum. I don't think he'll ever get back to that level. He's not very tall. I think that's his biggest issue as a middleweight. But he's a good solid guy, good fighter. You can't knock him. He's well rounded. I think he's probably going to look to keep this fight standing. I think Vicente might be the one to engage in the wrestling more in this fight, which could be a good idea to win him a decision. I don't know. I think Kelvin's got a hell of a chin. I think a lot of his fights, he's not going to get KO'd. Only way you would probably get him is with a submission. But I don't see Vicente really using that a great deal. His last submission win was Themba Gorimbo, so he's got it at his disposal, but whether he decides to do it or not, I think he's fallen in love with the hands, Vicente. He's probably going to go looking for a knockout. I just hope we see a vintage Vicente Luque performance in this fight. I'm not really sure about him winning. I think Kelvin Gastelum on points in this fight, but like I said, I've always been a big fan of Vicente. It's wild Brazilian style. I'd love to see him get a sub, but I think, it's going to probably take him a couple of fights to get used to being a middleweight, really, really fitting in the division. But interested to see how he goes. Like I said, I reckon he's probably going to have a bit more pep in his shots than he's had at his previous fights, where he's not having to kill himself to make weight. So another good matchup I'm interested in is Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. This is definitely going to be a battle of the strikers. I know Kevin Holland's a little bit more used to the ground game, but I don't think he really uses it a lot. He did well. He actually submitted Vicente Luque. So if anybody's going to do anything on the ground, it's going to be Kevin Holland. I think he's got probably a pretty underrated sort of submission game. He doesn't really use it a lot. Old Big Mouth likes to stand and bang. So we'll see how he goes. I think Randy Brown's probably going to get the better of him in this fight. It's crazy that they're both the same height, and Kevin Holland actually has a longer reach. Thinking if I had to compare them, I would say Randy Brown would be the bigger guy. But according to this, they're both 6'3", and Kevin Holland 81 inches, Randy Brown 78 inches on the reach. So, but no, interesting fight. Randy Brown looked pretty good. I think he's built for 3-round fights. Don't ever see him getting real high level. But I think he'll do enough in this fight. I think he'll edge out a decision against Kevin Holland. I think he's just going to be a bit quicker on the feet, a bit snappier with the kicks. Nothing special. I think it will be a close fight. I can't see a finish. I don't think anybody's going to get finished in this fight. If anybody is, it's probably going to be Kevin Holland. I could see him getting knocked out, eating a clean one on the jaw. But same thing, the defense and the chin of Kevin Holland, I think, is pretty well built. So yeah, I'm going to go decision for Randy Brown in that one. Pretty even fight. Like I said, I think that's going to be a hard one to pick a winner in. But I'm going for Randy. Another good fight I like. One of probably the more entertaining fight of the night, I think. This will be a banger. Johnny Walker, Dominic Reyes. So you're looking at two light heavyweights who have both had their problems with the chin. Both very chinny sort of guys. I've seen Johnny get cracked. I've seen Dominic Reyes get cracked. Well, got knocked out in his last fight. What I can't understand is how he's still ranked number 10, Dominic Reyes. He's it's just surprising to me. But anyway, so yeah, had some good wins. Beat Nikita Krylov. That's a good win in my opinion. Dominic Reyes was really good until the John Jones fight. I think that sort of deflated. Took a lot of wind out of his sails. He he looked really good up until that point. Went on a really good run, and then now he's lost to Ryan Spann, lost to Jan Blachowicz. There's no shame in that. Jiri Prochazka, and these were all pretty savage KOs. The Jiri Prochazka spinning elbow KO was one of the more brutal KOs I've seen in a long time. But he can still crack, but I just think his chin's taken some wicked punishment. Like I said, that Prochazka KO, that took years off his career, in my opinion. Johnny Walker, what can you say about this guy? He's fucking so hit and miss. I'll tell you one thing. I was made a fan of Johnny Walker early in his career. I've never seen anybody start a career like Johnny Walker. He'd come out dancing his way to the octagon. And then when he got in there, it was like he was on a Sunday stroll through the park, just so relaxed, so calm. And it showed in his first 3 fights. Yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with. One of my favourite knockouts of all time was his KO over Justin Ledet. Hook kick into a spinning back fist. Go and rewatch that if you've never seen that one. I think the thing that killed Johnny Walker, in my opinion, was... I think when he did his knockout of Misha Serkinov and went for his regular celebration of, backflips and fucking multiple spinning kicks, he did this big military-style salute into the worm and dislocated his shoulder or did some sort of serious damage to his shoulder. That required surgeries. Anyway... after that, I believe he sort of fell off a little bit, He fought Corey Anderson, so he got a massive look up in the rankings after 3 knockouts in a row. But, I think the biggest killer for him was when that shoulder injury occurred. That sort of put him on a bit of a downward slope. But he's looked good. He's coming back. He's definitely not quite the most electric style that he had when he fucking entered the UFC. But that goes with moving up in competition and, the opponents you're facing are a bit more skilled. I'd still love to see him do some big flashy KO, and I think Dominic Reyes is probably, one of the more likely ones that could be susceptible to one of his, crazy manoeuvres. So I'm going to go with Johnny Walker with a big KO in this one. I don't know exactly how he gets it done. A flying knee, I could see that on the cards. Possibly a nice switch high kick to the head. Something crazy, I think, Dominic's chin won't be able to withstand the punishment. I mean, Johnny Walker's chin can't really stand up to the punishment either, so it's sort of whoever lands clean first. But I think Johnny's going to get the best of him in this one. I truly believe that. But again, another hard fight to pick. Could go either way. I think it won't go the distance. I mean, Johnny has gone the distance in the last few of his fights. I think he's sort of going for a bit more of a point sort of fighting style and using his range a bit better. But yeah, I think, like I said, that if there was ever a layup for him, this is it. Dominic Reyes. I can see his chin getting blasted with something. Then Johnny does something fucking spectacular. So, Johnny Walker, KO. I'm going to go round 2 KO in that one. So, I think that'll be a bit of a highlight of the night, that one, in my opinion. The next good fight I'm really looking forward to, Curtis Blaydes versus Josh Hokett. Curtis Blaydes, I think people are overlooking him a bit. I think he's going to run through Josh Hokett in this fight. I think he's going to make Josh look very average. He's won his first 2 fights by KO in the first round. I don't see this going his way at all. I think young Josh has got a lot to build off of, but I think they've fed him to the wolves a bit early here. I'm surprised it's such an even money fight. Curtis Blades is a massive favourite in my opinion in this fight. I think he's going to get him down, probably keep it standing for a majority of the fight, and then hopefully lands a big takedown and some huge ground and pound is probably on the cards, I reckon. That would be my prediction for that fight. Curtis Blades, very underrated in my opinion. He's got all the wrestling. I know he's had a bit of a skid lately, and he's starting to slow down a little bit in my opinion. But I think he's got all the makings to be a champion, but I don't ever see him becoming one. I think he will always struggle with the real top Tom Aspinalls and the Cyril Garns and stuff like that. I don't think he's ever going to have much luck against them. But this is a good fight for Curtis Blades, I reckon. Nice easy win here. I don't think he's going to have to fucking go crazy. I think Josh can probably take a bit of punishment, but I think I think it's gonna be all too much for him. A bit overwhelming. He's gonna be stuck on his back. Curtis Blades is gonna be landing some pop shots, and then probably could see him landing a big slicing elbow. So I reckon there'll be blood in this fight, and I think there will be a KO by Curtis Blades. Probably round 1, maybe round 2. I'm gonna go over round 1 KO in that one. I think, I like Josh Hocker. I like his mic work and stuff. He's pretty entertaining, but I don't think he's up to standard with someone of the pedigree of Curtis Blades. So, hopefully he doesn't. Curtis Blades doesn't decide to just stand there and start trying to strike with him, because I think his hands have still got a lot to be desired. But he has gotten better. He's got a few power punches up his sleeve. But I hope he wrestles. I hope he ground and pounds. The co-main event for the evening. This is a good matchup. Azamat Murzakanov welcoming Paulo Costa to light heavyweight. What can you say? Paulo Costa always got a chin like a horse, head like a fucking granite cinder block. He's going to take some beating, I reckon. But if there's anybody that's going to do it, you look at Murzakanov's record with the repeated KOs and stuff. I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a tough fight, because Murzacanov's going to look to get the KO, but I don't think he will get it on Paulo. Paulo's always had a hell of a chin, and I think moving up to light heavyweight is only going to test that. 6th ranked Murzakanov, so I don't know what kind of position this will land Paulo in if he was to beat Murzakanov. I think he'll get a good moving up into the light heavyweight rankings, but at this stage I can't really see where he's going to go from here, if he's going to try and stay here a while. I'm interested to see how he looks. He sort of strikes you as a natural light heavyweight. He's always a massive middleweight, but he seems too short to me. I don't think he has the reach, especially some of these other bigger guys. Like you're talking about guys like Johnny Walker and stuff, 6'5". But good luck to young Paulo. I've always liked him. Very entertaining style. He's not going to shy away. He's going to throw hooks. I think that's the one thing I could see him doing is sort of giving a bit of pressure to Murzakanov, getting him a little bit worried because he's just standing there like the Terminator throwing these big hooks. And I think, Paulo Costa, his hands have always been fucking really good. Really nice tight hooks to the body, to the head. Always a world-class sort of striker in my opinion. Great kicks to the body. I think Murzakanov will get this done, but I think this might go the distance. I just can't see anybody cracking Paulo's chin yet. I think leg kicks for Murzakanov sort of used a bit of the Israel Adesanya game plan, how he played it against Paulo, and chop him down, try and slow him down from throwing them huge big winging hooks, and get the win over the 3 rounds. But mostly excited to just see how Paulo looks and how he performs. It's gonna be, if he's gonna make this move permanent, it's gonna be interesting to see how he keeps the speed and stuff to his punches. Being light heavyweight, there's a lot of extra weight to throw around there, so see if it suits him. So all right, we'll go into the main event now, guys. Carlos Ulberg versus Jiri Prochazka. Right, so I've been doing a little bit of thinking about this fight, and I like Jiri Prochazka. He's one of the more entertaining fighters in all of the UFC, but is he smart enough to not get frustrated with someone like Carlos Ulberg? Carlos Ulberg, I think, has one of the highest fight IQs in probably all of the UFC. He's taken the leaf out of Israel Adesanya's book, but I think he's almost better at it in a way. He's got amazing footwork. He's always, skipping around and getting just out of range. And I think that'll definitely play into someone like Jiri. He's going to come forward like a mad dog, wing and punch. It's going to be a bit of a bull versus matador style matchup, and I think Ulberg's up to that task. Like I said, I'm sort of, my heart's saying Jiri, but my mind's saying Ulberg, just for the simple fact this is almost a tailor-made fight for him. His style is bulletproof. I think, like I said, the fight IQ, Ulberg is just reading the book, and he's gonna be hard to hit and hard to land a clean shot on. And especially after Pereira sort of set the game plan for Jiri with just kicking the leg. If Ulberg incorporates that style and hits some hard low kicks on Jiri, he's going to be just standing there to be hit, and that's just going to feed into Ulberg's game plan all night. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more of a patient style Jiri, even possibly a wrestling Jiri would be good. But I think he's going to get caught up. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to go full power, full chaos. And I don't think he's going to get clipped, but I think it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. I think Kylof's is going to be moving. He's going to be setting nice little jabs up and winning on the judges' scorecards for most of the round. I think it could take a couple of rounds for Jiri to work out that he's not really going to be able to land anything super substantial on him, and then start wrestling. That would be my advice to Jiri. Get him down and use your experience on the ground. You submitted Glover to Scherer. Sure, it was a bit of a one-off, bit of a miracle, but if you can use half of that skill to get him down and wear Ulberg out on the ground, I think he won't be able to move as well. I think body shots on the ground are going to be a huge thing. If you can get him down, I think Ulberg does have great great takedown defense, but if Jiri just rushes him like a mad bull, gets him against the fence, pins him and holds him there, and then eventually works to back control and sort of drags him off the fence and drags him down to the center of the octagon and settles on a good position, that is a game plan to victory, in my opinion. But yeah, Ulberg, what can you say? This guy just looks bloody amazing. All of his fights, he just looks like he's playing it so safe, but just winning, just edging him each round, and setting stuff up, setting traps. The fight with Jan Blachowicz was surprising to me. I thought Jan would have done better in that fight. He sort of plods along, but you got to remember he's like 40 years old, and he was coming off of 2 bung shoulders. He had 2 big shoulder surgery, so I don't think we got the full Jan, and that was a close fight. But like I said, Jan, 42 years old and 2 fuck shoulders, but put Ulberg to the test at his own game. They sort of had a similar style in that fight. But, I don't know. If Ulberg can lead the dance in this fight, set the pace, use his footwork, get the lead jab going, 1-2s down the pipe, I could see that going all night, guys. So I'm going to go Ulberg by points. As much as I hate to say it, I love Jiri. I think he'd make a great champion. It's super entertaining. Love the whole samurai thing, but yeah, I got to think about it logically, and I think he's going to have a hard time landing on Ulberg. Ulberg's footwork's just going to be too slick. He's going to be, not going to be standing there to be hit. He's going to use that fight IQ. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if he does defend a couple of takedowns. And I think Yuri's just going to get so frustrated by the end of the night. I think, it's like I said, it doesn't leave much to be desired by Ulberg. He's not really the flashiest sort of fighter. He's pretty plain, but like I said, he's safe. And, he's going to avoid the wild man. I think he's gonna, he's gonna dance around for 5 rounds, bit almost like Muhammad Ali sort of style. I think is my opinion. Quick jabs and just edge it out on the scorecards. But it's only my opinion, guys, and hope you enjoy the fights. Thanks for listening. Bye.